What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Angry Jackalope Rob Ricks. It's time for me to update motherfuckers on what's going on. What's going on with Rob? So, last Saturday I was going to do a show, and Medicus was here, he's a good friend of mine. I was actually going to have him on the show to kind of hang out, bullshit, and whatnot. And a couple days before that, Thursday night, I guess. So, Thursday night, I had really bad pain. It was what I traditionally had called my squiggly spooch, which was basically just my Invader Zim version of saying my motherfucking gallbladder. 4 years ago, I was supposed to have the gallbladder taken out, but a buddy of mine across the street, Paul, had his taken out and was like, "No, dude, don't do that. It's gonna fuck you up." Blah blah blah. And he told me some horror stories, and I was like, "All right." I was like, "All right, I will fuck off the operation. I'm not worried about it." All right. And so for 4 years, I went pretty good. Hey, what's up, Yak? What's up, Paula? And this whole video is about how I'm doing. Um, so for 4 years, I was pretty good. And then, of course, the foot problem. I've been spending a lot of time, laying down, and I think at some point, laying down, one of the stones that was in my gallbladder jostled, moved, whatever. And 3 weeks ago, I had an encounter with the pain, and it went away after a whole day of just real bad agonizing pain. And so anyway, Thursday night, about 5 in the morning, I get racked with really bad pain. I mean, I was really having a bad time. But I had came across thought I had a bottle in here. I guess I don't. Apple cider vinegar. After trying a bunch of different pain mitigation techniques, Tylenol, Advil, oxycodone, none of that was really taking the edge off. And so, in desperation, I had hit the internet, and people were talking about apple cider vinegar. So I got my daughter to go out, and she got it, and I chugged, like 2 or 3 shots of it, and lo and behold, the pain subsided. And I was like, "Holy shit, this apple cider vinegar ain't no fucking joke." So I had planned on talking about it on Saturday, as well as a bunch of other things I had planned. Medicus showed up, and we were kind of working on our guns and whatnot, because Medicus is like real life friend. He's actually a really, really good friend of mine. And so he comes over, and we're working on our guns, and we're putting lights on them and everything. And I was actually going to do a thing talking about Olight and Odins and blah blah blah, and had a pretty fun show planned. And I had taken it somewhat easy that night before, that Friday, and then Saturday morning I was pretty hungry, and I ate a frozen burrito, which was the thing that sent me completely over the edge. So poor Medicus is there hanging out with me, and I am not having a good time. Like I'm hurting bad. And so I was hurting so bad I almost forgot to pick up my son from work. So I picked my son up from work. I'm on the phone with my wife. I'm telling her it's just pretty bad. And she's like, "Look, let's just fucking go to the ER already, and let's just see what's going on." And I'm like, "All right." So get my son home, jump in a ride with Medicus, who had a bucket list. Like, one of the things he wanted to do, he said, "I always wanted to drive up to the ER and shove somebody's ass out the car and then just drive off real fast." And I'm like, "Dude, don't do that to me. I'd fall and break something, because he's got a big old truck." So anyway, we get over to the ER. He drops me off. I take my happy ass in. Lucky for me, it happened to be dead. Not that many people in the ER. So I get checked in and everything. And it's the wife's work. So, a couple people had recognized me. So I get taken to the back. And long story short, they look and they're like, "Yeah, gallbladder is problematic here." So I had a MRI and everything, and they're inside, and they're looking at it. Like, "Yeah, you got five fairly decent sized stones in here, and one could be causing an obstruction in the gallbladder." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, it's fine." So they're giving me morphine, which was really helping, and they finally get the pain down from 7.5 down to like a 3. which I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. It's fine. And original surgeon comes in. She's a real cool lady. And fucking, there's Mitigus right there. There's the home slice. So the doc comes in that was going to cut me open, and she's like, yeah, my daughter's 4, so I know exactly when you came in. It was 4 years ago because I was pregnant when I was going to operate on you. I'm like, I remember that. So her name was Dr. Chung. She was a super nice lady. And so she's like, all right. And so she's trying to fast track everything. So she puts it for a COVID rapid test, which turned out to be a huge, huge mistake because they asked this one pivotal question. Does the patient have any symptoms? Which they said no. Well, when they did that, they put it as a low priority, which meant the COVID test would go out at 8 o'clock at night, and then it would come back sometime after midnight, which turned out to be, for me, 10 o'clock the next morning is when I got my results, which was COVID negative. Incidentally, that COVID test, that is some fucked up stuff. That Q-tip that they cramp, man, it feels like, I don't know if you guys ever seen them pincher bugs or Star Trek where they put them fucking, the aliens up inside the nose and the ears and shit. It's like a nightmare scenario, really, because it feels like a giant pincher bug that they insert in your fucking nose, and it feels like that some bitch is in there just pinching and swirling around like it's burrowing into your brain, right? And I'm just like, oh, that is a really uncomfortable, fucked up test, right? It seems really cruel and unusual. But anyway, I digress. So, because I was COVID undeclared, meaning they didn't have a test result for me, they had to treat me like I was COVID positive, which meant they kicked my wife out, would not let her come in. I was in the room by myself. Every nurse that came in had to come in completely like hazmated out. Looked like I felt like I had fucking Ebola. It was pretty funny. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then I use a CPAP, and they wouldn't let me use the CPAP because they said that the CPAP would blow the air in the area, and I wasn't in a negative pressure room. And they're like, we can move you to a negative pressure room. And I'm like, no, leave, because those rooms are in short supply. I said, no, leave that for people who actually have COVID and they're really, that have a bad spot going on. Leave it for people that need it. I don't fucking need it. I don't have COVID. And they're like, well, we have to pretend like you do just because we don't have your results, which was really retarded. But so instead of being able to use the CPAP that night, they gave me oxygen. And I was looking at the lady who's a respiratory specialist, and I said, this is not the same fucking thing. She's like, yeah, I know. I'm really sorry. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. It is what it is. So I had this little oxygen rolling, and I was like, it's fine. And they gave me morphine, kept my pain pretty good. And then I did the operation the following day, mid-afternoon, and it was laparoscopic. It's like a lap procedure where they stick prongs in you instead of cutting you open. Like I have 5 holes in me, like blop, 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 like 5 holes, okay? And I can't say the fucking word it is. Laparoscopic, whatever. So they have one that's a cutter, one that's like little robotic arms, and one's like camera, and so she can stick shit in and look around and whatever. So that procedure, laparoscopic, thank you. That procedure wasn't terribly bad, and it was cool because my anesthesiologist was a guy named Dr. Blood, and I was like, fuck yeah, cool name, right? And he kept calling me partner. All right, partner, we're gonna do this and that. And I was like, I really liked him. He was a cool dude, and the nursing staff was fucking amazing. They were just so fucking. They were very caring, very attentive. Even though I got woken up pretty much every fucking hour for not labs, but for the blood pressure and my my oxygen level, everything. They were just testing all of that stuff, just making sure I was cool. And so Dr. Blood's sitting there, and he's telling me he's going to do, and I've had operations plenty of times before. Like shit, I probably have had 7 or 8 operations up to this point. So I was kind of like, all right, cool. So he's telling me what he's going to do, and he's giving me oxygen. I'm breathing it, and he goes, all right, partner, we're going to go ahead. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the countdown. Because normally in the old days, I could count down from 10 and it would go 10, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, shoot, 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 gone by 5, right? This time, I tell him, all right, let's go ahead and do the count. Gone. Like, the shit they use now is amazing. So I guess there's two basic things they do when they they go to take the gallbladder and stuff out. One is to knock you out, and then the other is to paralyze you. And I kind of found that interesting that they use an agent to paralyze you, because even if you're unconscious, sometimes the muscles and the body will react to things going on. So if you've got probes in there and you're doing stuff and the body suddenly jerks, that could be really detrimental. And it was like, oh yeah, that's like a duh moment. I was like, yeah, okay. So I guess apparently with me, they gave me a lot of stuff to paralyze me, and they had to give me a lot to get me to settle down. And then they had to use twice that amount to unparalyze me, which they were like, holy shit, dude, we had to use a lot to get your ass to get back to being responsive. And so that was the first little hiccup. Then they were like, oh, and one of the stones is down in the thing. When the doc was like, when I inked it, I could see there was a stone down in the lower levels of the bowel duct that goes into the pancreas. And she's like, we got to get that one. I was like, okay. So normally they would have just gassed me back up, had the other guy come in and do it. But since Dr. Blood was like, no, I had to use a lot to get this guy paralyzed and a lot to unparalyze him, it's not safe to do it. We need 24 hours to get this shit out of his system. So that we had to wait for the other procedure. And then they were kind of hemming and hawing, and they were going to do another MRI, because as they were looking at the film, they were like, I can't really see it. And Dr. Chung was like, no, look, motherfuckers, it's right fucking there. I can see it. You see it right there. So then when they all kind of came together and really talked about it, they're like, yeah, okay, there, we do see it. And it wasn't round. It was more like a little slug is what it looked like when I saw the pictures later. I was like, damn, this looks like a stone. It looks like a little slug, So they had to numb me up, go down through the throat, and then when he was down through the throat and he was checking, he was like, I can't quite get to it. So then he had to insert another thing into the stomach, come up through the stomach, and then get it and come back out. And that procedure is funny how one operating room procedure versus another can be vastly different. I mean, vastly different. The OR group that Dr. Chung and Dr. Blood were responsible for was way more organized. They were like a well-oiled machine. Boom, 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 boom. The other one that I went in and had done, they were kind of not quite sure. It seemed like there was a lot of people that weren't working together, like they didn't know each other. At one point they're like, where are the leads for it? And they was sitting right on my gut, and I'm like, the leads are right here. And I had to tell them, okay, if you guys are going to put me on my belly, understand I have a foot operation coming up, and if you guys are going to pick my big ass up, obviously you're going to try to grab around my feet. Can you grab up on the right calf, use that to lift, and then move me and flip me and everything else, because I got an operation coming up after this. After all of this shit, next Wednesday, I'm having a whole nother fucking operation, right? They're going to slice and dice my fucking foot and do some really intensive shit. So they're like, okay, but during that process of being on my stomach, if you think about how your foot is, right? So if you're laying on your back, your foot's like this, right? Well, if you're laying the other way, now you have this pressure to make the foot go straight. So of course, when I woke up, my fucking foot was killing me. I was like, fuck, But it was what it was, And so then I had to wait for that procedure happened, and I'm sitting there, and they're like, okay, try to eat some Jello and try to eat some other stuff. And my wife, she was there, like, constantly there when she could, because when the negative COVID came in, then she could come and be with me. So every chance that she could, she was there. So she called into work a couple days, and was there for me. And I know the poor thing, I know she was bored out of her fucking mind, but she was really freaked out, and kids were freaked out too. They were like, holy shit, what happens if dad dies, and blah blah blah. And so of course I did a lot of praying, and I know a lot of people prayed for me, and I thank you guys for that. I do. So I'm recovering, and I'm eating this Jello, and I had some chicken broth, which was basically just like water with like ramen flavoring to it. And my wife leaves, and then like 20 minutes later, I just get like punched right in the fucking sternum. It just felt like Mike Tyson just punched me, and I'm like, and I had morphine on board at this point. So with morphine, I had been sitting at a 2, and it jumped to a 6, right? And I was like, holy shit. So then they called Dr. Chung. Dr. Chung's like, fuck it, give him some Dilaudid. I was like, oh boy, here we go. So they pushed Dilaudid. And when my wife had her operation, she had Dilaudid. Boy, she was fucking stoned. She was all, huh? Okay. Boom, gone. Just passing out. That shit was the opposite with me. Dilaudid was like super speed. Like I had never had before. Like I fucking wanted to get up, go run around. The pain obviously dropped. The pain went from, the pain went to nothing. Like it went less than a 1 with Dilaudid. Like I was like, wow, this pain med's here ain't no motherfucking joke. And so I was sitting there going, Jesus, this is crazy. And I was so alert, and then I would close my eyes and I was hallucinating. Like I was seeing black and white landscape that was super stark, like the hardest black and white you could imagine, and it was like a desert landscape. And every second it kept like zooming in, like it would rectangle zoom in, rectangle zoom in, rectangle zoom in. Like it was really bizarre. And then it transitioned from desert landscape to some floor that was checkerboard, black and white, with like little bits of dirt and stuff. And like I would like zoom in on a dirt, and it was like this is fucking bizarre. Like I'm not gonna be able to fall asleep with this shit. What the fuck? It's great. I got no pain. But about 40 minutes in, all of that hallucinating subsided, and then I was able to fall asleep. And then they were doing vitals and fall asleep, and they would do vitals. And then second time they did vitals, like I would always just raise my arm up, and they would come in, put the cuff on and everything. And then that third time I raised my arm up and like, oh fuck. And they're like, hurt? I'm like, yeah. Boom. They pushed the Dilaudid again, and I was like, wide awake. Okie dokie. So, it's 2 in the fucking morning. What am I gonna do now? I don't know what I'm gonna fucking do. I'm sitting here. I don't want to close my eyes, because I close my. Oh, yep. There's the strobes of the trees. It was like black and white shit. It was the craziest fucking thing. Jay says Silver Fox says hello. She said to give you your message. Brown chicken, brown cow. Yeah, that kind of slowed the recovery there a little bit, Jay. But anyway. That meds did its job, so I again waited 40 minutes, fell back asleep. Then the next morning I felt better, so I said no more pain meds, I'm good. So I went off the morphine, went off the Dilaudid. I said no more, I don't need anything. And I drank some apple juice, and then I had some more Jello later. The doc came in, she looked at me, she said, look, I want you eating like food. So they brought in some potato. It was like a potato soup, but it was blended up. So I ate that, no problems. And Doc's like, okay, you're fucking good. So they discharged me later in the afternoon, and I came home, and it's weird. Like this doesn't really hurt. It just feels fatigued, and it feels heavy, right? Like the areas feel heavy, and like the inside's already itching. Like I'm already healing really good. And so of course the very first day I came home, I took it really fucking easy. I didn't do shit. I stayed in bed. I got up. I do laps around in the island in the kitchen, and then I would go lay back down. I'd get up. I'd do laps again. I'd lay down, get up, do laps again. So I kept making sure I was moving, because one of the annoying things that they had on me the whole time I was there were these little leg squeezing things, right? And it was like beep, beep, beep. Like it was amazing that I was able to sleep at all. But the leg thing was so that I didn't throw a clot or anything else, right? So that was cool. So yeah, it was a really interesting experience, and I'm sure I'm going to be paying for that for a little while. What's up, Big Man Bowie? So that part is done. Now Monday coming up, I'm going to go in pre-op. They're going to probably bitch at me a little bit and say, well, we kind of don't want to do this, but I already got it cleared from, my other doctor. Other doctor's like, yeah, you could totally do the operation. It's no big deal. If it was the other way around, then she would have had reservations and stuff. But she said no. Going from the gallbladder removal to ligament repairs. I keep calling them tendons, but I guess they're ligaments. My wife keeps correcting me. I guess it's 4 separate ligaments that have to be repaired as well as to heal. So Monday I'll go in and talk with them. Get another COVID test, but it's a different type of COVID test. This one I get to just spit in something, and they're going to do it from the saliva. And then Wednesday I will get a time when that operation is going to happen. And again, I'll go under local, and they're going to just, brutalize the foot, rebuild it, titanium bolts, etc. And I imagine that recovery is going to be a lot more intensive than this one. It's kind of funny because right now my abdominal muscles, it was funny because she kept trying to tell me, you're going to have to relax your core. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And she's like, why? I said, my core is never relaxed because of all the years of fighting and everything else. I always have my core tight. So she's doing her probing and testing, and she's like, Jesus. She goes, yeah, you can't make it soft. I'm like, I'm trying to make it soft. That sounds really bad. But anyway, she's like, well, shit, if it's not hurting you, then I guess you're okay. And so, I get up and I move and I do stuff and I bend down, I pick things up, and it's just, my core is always tight. So she's like, okay, that's fine, whatever. So we were a little concerned about that, but now everything is fine. I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. So I feel fine. I've been eating. I had solid foods last night, and there was no adverse reaction. Now, of course, whenever you take your gallbladder out, you have to expect your bathroom breaks are going to be really foul for like the first 2 weeks because you don't have a gallbladder there anymore, regulating the amount of bile that's going from the liver into the intestines. So now, because there's no gallbladder, whenever I eat, there's bile that's just dripping constantly. So, of course, the funny thing is when you get anesthesia and you get all the pain meds, a lot of the side effects that typically happen for people is you become really constipated, and it's a while before you end up using the bathroom. Well, my wife's like, I don't understand how you're having regular poop, because you should be backed up, you should be hard, blah blah blah. It should be hard again. That's what she said. But no, so far everything is good. The bio breaks are good. Eating solid food. It is making me very, very regular now. Now every time I eat, within 30 minutes, I know I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom. And I guess apparently for the next 2 to 3 weeks, that's kind of how it's gonna be, until the body goes, oh wait, we don't have a gallbladder anymore, so okay, we're just going to adjust in its own special way. So far so good on the gallbladder stuff and the ERCP or ERPC, whatever that procedure was, that where they went down the throat and it ended up came through the stomach. That ended up was fine. So now, what does that mean for the show? Well, what it means for the show is this Saturday there will be a show. Sunday there will be a show. And then there's going to be a little bit of a hiatus. Because right now with the abdominal stuff, I can get up, I can move around, I can do all kinds of stuff. No big deal. No big deal. But the foot, that is a completely different animal. And I'm not quite sure what to expect from that. Like, I thought this was going to be a little bit rough, but this turned out to be really nothing. Like this, I'm like, yeah, at the height of the operation, right after done, it kind of felt like I had a broken rib, and I was kind of like, yeah, well, okay, no big deal. It's a little sharp, yeah, all right. But then the next day, I was like, shit, I can go out, and I wouldn't want to, but I can go fight if I had to. I wouldn't want to, but anyway. Let's see, big man, 3 more months. I have gastric. Oh shit, dude! Congratulations. I bet that's something you've been working for, huh? I know a lot of times they can't just give you the gastric bypass. Like they expect you to do some working out and lose a little bit of weight and whatever. Yeah, just the thing on a bypass, just make sure you follow the diet that they tell you and understand also if it's are you doing like the full gastric bypass or are they doing a band? Because one, you're gonna feel full a lot faster, and the other thing too, if it is the gastric bypass, I think there's certain things like meds and some other stuff that's gonna hit you faster, stronger and everything else. So you're gonna have to be okay. Are you going to be online though? I don't know. Like I've been doing stuff on the Discord. I've been following you guys there. I've been trying to talk about stuff. And there's a couple of things I want to take care of before the procedure. But I think after the procedure, I know for at the very least, the first week, from everybody I've talked to that has had it, I said the first week sucks. So I'm like, okay. And it kind of makes sense because it's my right foot. It's my dominant foot. And when you think about moving around, like they really don't want my big ass on my foot, period, after this. Because it's not one procedure. You're actually doing 2 procedures on my foot. Actually, you might even think about it as like 3 separate procedures. Because there's going to be three separate, minimum 3 separate incision spots. 2 on the top of the foot, right where the foot pivots, and 2 on the ankle, 1 on the heel. And the heel, they're going to detach the Achilles tendon, shave that bone, put 2 titanium bolts there to reattach the Achilles tendon there. So you can see why that's going to be a lot more involved and healing, tendons reattaching to bones and ligaments being rebuilt, also being attached and grafted to bones. So that's going to be something else. Facebook and Messenger, yeah, probably. I probably will be on Facebook just because laying in bed, the phone has been kind of like where I've been keeping people up to date on what's going on. And it's kind of lazy in some ways, but it's kind of efficient in other ways. Like I can sit there and do real-time updates. Hey, this is what's going on and blah, blah, blah. And I may even do some streams via phone. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I've got enough content to keep me occupied. I've got enough video games and things like that laying in bed should be really no problem. But after that's done, then I have to do the whole physical therapy, and I'm fine with that. I'm looking forward to it because there was a point during this whole procedure there I had a really hard look at myself, and it really wasn't a pleasant experience for me. I was right before the very first operation, I was very vulnerable, very scared because I was just by myself. The nurses had left me, the anesthesiologist left me, and I had a moment. It was really creepy, really scary. The doors are magnetic. They hit the key card and the doors will open up. And I was sitting there by myself, and I was actually praying. And I was like, Heavenly Father, please look after me. I got a lot of stuff left to do. I got things for my kids, blah, blah, blah. And somebody's trying to call me. I'm going to ignore that. And I even said, Jesus Christ, please, I don't beg for things very often, but I would very much like more time if it's the Father's will. And the door fucking opened, and nobody came through, and it shit spooked the fuck out of me. And I was like, look, man, and I even was like talking out loud. I was like, look, if this is the fucking Grim Reaper, dude, you don't have to be invisible. This is my fucking time. It's my time. I'm not afraid. I would like more time, but if it's time, it's time. And I'm like, don't play fucking games. If you're fucking here, don't hide. Let's see what's what. And I look up, and I got one of those round mirrors where you could see it all up and down the fucking hallway, and I could see myself on the bed, and it really wasn't flattering. I mean, granted, it distorts the view, but I'm looking down, and my biggest feature was my gut, and I was like, Jesus, I am a big fat fucking guy, And And I'm like, it's no fucking, you know, I'm lucky I don't have more health issues than I do. I really am. I'm really blessed in that regards. You know, I got low blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. But I looked, I said, geez, I am a fat fucking guy. And like I said before, I'm getting real tired. You know, I look at the discharge papers, and one of the things that's listed as an active, what do you call that? An active ailment or an active problem is, you know, obesity, right? Morbid obesity. And I'm just like, I fucking hate that. It fucking it irritates me to no end. And so I said, fuck it. I'm gonna start watching what I'm eating and everything. And I lost weight already. I was like 323. I'm 319. I lost fucking 4 pounds already just from this shit, you know. And so I told myself. And the other thing that was really crazy is, so I hadn't had a soda or coffee or anything when Midicus had came over. I didn't have a chance to drink anything, and so I didn't have a soda that Saturday. Sunday I started having this really crazy headache, and I thought it was because of the morphine, because the gal down in the thing had pushed it just straight, and it had slammed me hard. And I thought, fuck, I'm getting this bad headache from this morphine. No, the bad headache was because I was going through caffeine withdrawals from not pounding energy drinks or soda or anything else. And so I'm like, oh, fuck me. I'm going through caffeine withdrawal and all this other shit right fucking now. This shit sucks. So I got through it. And I'm like, great. So I haven't had a soda. I've been drinking apple juice and water. Let's see, is it back there? No, it's blocked by the logo there. So I have these big tubs of water and apple juice. It's the only thing I've been drinking. And my food, I've been really watching what I've been eating. And I told my wife, I said, this is really difficult in this fucking house, because kids were sitting there having conversations about what's better, Coke or Dr. Pepper. And I'm just like, holy fuck, I want both of those. And I'm like, nope, you're a fat fucker. Stop it. You're a fat fucker. And then last night, wife's watching YouTube, and they're sitting there eating all these oysters and everything else. I'm like, ooh, that looks good. I want that. Ooh, yeah, that sounds yummy. I'm like, nope. I'm like, ooh, you know what? You can go get yourself a fucking Oreo, Rob. I'm like, nope, no fucking Oreo. So that's the other thing that I'm really going to be doing is changing up a lot of key things in my life. Just because I'm done, guys. I'm really fucking tired of people passing judgment, looking at me saying, fat fucker, right? And it's really irritating. Like, I was comfortable in my skin. Like, I really wasn't tripping too bad. Like, I said, big guy, whatever. But now I'm looking and I'm like, yuck, you know? And I gotta give it up to my wife. I gotta give it up to my wife because, you know, she's still cool with me and everything else. But, you know, it's not really good on a relationship, too, to be a big fat fuck. Because, obviously, yeah, I'm still sexy, but I'm normally like really super sexy, like super sexy times 10,000. And I'm only a little bit sexy right now. So, you know, I kind of want to, I told my wife, I said, you know, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go to super sexy, and it's going to be rough because you're going to have all these bitches trying to holler and shit. And she just started laughing. She's like, whatever. But, yeah, I decided, this is a good opportunity. 2020 really whooped my ass, but you know, the good thing about a good ass whooping is, usually you pick yourself up after, and the thing that kicked the shit out of you, sometimes you end up being kind of cool with, you know? And I've decided to take this ass whooping like a man and go, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to change some shit up. So you're going to see some of that on the channel here. You're going to see some shifting towards different things. I mean, I think it would be really cool to get to the point where I'm sitting there looking at like Canadian Prepper going, look at that little dude. That dude's a small guy. You know what I mean? Like, that dude's not in shape. Whatever, dude. You think you got some muscles. Blah, look at this shit, bitch. Hurrah! You know? So, I think, see, Let's Talk to Survival's got some comments here. So that was a realization a little over a year ago. Since then, I've lost 100 pounds. Fuck yeah, dude. You're the motherfucker. He says, I feel 20 years younger, and all my aches and pains disappeared just by eating primarily fatty meat. I like fatty meat. Keto carnivore was my ticket to feeling good. Yeah, I've heard that. Hey, what's up, Sonny? So you guys are gonna see the channel shift a little. And I don't. It's not like I'm trying to force belief systems or anything else on anybody. This channel has always been kind of just a way for me to go crazy and share shit that's going on. So I'm going to, you know, share recovery, share the different things with you guys, and then also I'm gonna be putting like a weight counter. I'm gonna be putting shit on the show so we can ride this path together. And, you know, I'll share things that help me succeed, and I'll share things that I failed at. And, you know, and in that way, there's kind of a historical record of, you know, things that I've tried that work, products that I like, things of that nature. And, you know, folks that want to do it the same as me, great. If you don't, fuck, that's your life. Everybody live, you know, your perfect fucking life and be however you want to be. And so 2021 is really going to be about getting my health under control, getting healthy. It's also going to be about getting my my business affairs in order, you know, trying to get my money healthy. And so I will share things that I come across there, whether it be things about different finance things, things of that nature. Because I got to start thinking really seriously about the future. I'm almost 50, and it's kind of crazy to me. Like, I'm 49, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of crazy. Like, I'm going to be 50 next year. And Jay, I'm in for a weight loss competition. Well, shit, you know, we could definitely do a thing like that. It would probably have to be like percentages though, because, you know, I'm 319 now. You know, at my heaviest I was 375, right? So, you know, when you're big like me, the weight's easy to come off. Weight comes off relatively quick. So, you know, I'll drop pretty fast, because I remember before when I was working out before, I dropped down to 280 pretty quick, within like 3 or 4 months. I don't think I'll be able to do that again, because that shit nearly destroyed my fucking knees. But, you know, yeah, we could definitely do some fun shit and make some contests and some other stuff. And, you know, everybody that's you know, that's down to play along or whatever else, we could do a thing where we do a roll call and check and see how everybody's doing. You know, I mean, I'm open to anything, just you know, anything to help us be healthy and, you know, help us be around. Because, you know, my goal, my dream, one of my dreams anyway, is to get financially huge, to the point where I can just, you know, sweep up the lopes and say, hey, we got a, you know, annual jackalope cruise that we're doing, and, you know, that's the one time a year we eat like fucking pigs. And hang out and have a fucking good time, you know, jackalope convention type shit where people come together and share. And you know, because this is more like friends and family than some other shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, real weight loss happens in the kitchen. I believe that. Like, I made some egg drop soup today, and my kids, you know, they had Hot Pockets and all this other shit, and I was like, nah, I'm good. So I made my own food. I put my own eggs in it. That shit was delicious, and I got leftovers, and I told my wife, I said, this shit's so good. Fuck, you guys get whatever the fuck you guys want to eat. I'm just gonna have some more egg flour soup later. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I'm just I'm at a transitioning point where I just realized things have to change. And, you know, when I was laying there and I was praying, there was a little voice in my head that was like, it was really fucked up. You know, the little voice was like, it's your own fucking fault, fat boy. You know? And I have that sometimes. Sometimes when I'm at a really dark point, I'll hear, you know, my subconscious to say really, really cruel shit. And it really was taking me to task, and it was like, whose fucking fault is this? And you know, when you face hard truth like that, you can't lie to yourself, right? When your inner self is really putting your ass on blast, you're kind of like, yeah, you're right. It's my fucking fault. It's my fucking fault. So I am I'm definitely taking that shit seriously, and you know, I'm gonna still try to share entertaining stuff. I'm still gonna try to share some stuff, but there's definitely gonna be a health aspect to things going forward, and there's gonna be a little bit. Um, oh yeah, kettleball with jackalope logo on it. Have a contest for kettleball swings. Yeah, right now it'd have to be a real little one with the way my gut is. But the other thing too is I was real happy because I've been wearing this, right? But did you die? And the answer is, fuck no, I didn't, right? And I think that's gonna be like the logo going forward in 2021. Like I'm going to begin my exercising. I'm gonna start training again like I'm fighting. That's all I'm gonna do. Um, does your conscious know my conscious? Could be. Could be Minikis. This some fucked up. The conscious, subconscious can be an asshole sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Um, JAG, the Jackalope Accountability Group. I like that. JAG. Yeah, that's good. You know, but this is the thing that we just have to. Oh yeah, the gastric balloon. Shit, my brother. Fuck, my brother had a band got put on down in Mexico, and woo, he lost a fucking shit ton of weight, and he kept trying to tell me, you know, I know, right? It's funny because my wife's feed was filled with healthy jackalope shit as we were sitting there having conversation. Um, but yeah, I do have the healthy jackalope. That's funny that you even brought that up. Not a lot of people know that, but yeah, that channel does exist. Um, but yeah, it's just time, guys. I'm going back to training. Gonna train like, you know, it's time to go to war, and I don't really think that's a bad thing for any of us. And Paula is right. Go light, then get heavy. I'm not gonna jump in, burn myself out. Even with the foot operation, one of the things that they had told me to do was keep light weights nearby and work the upper body, just so that you're getting a heart rate up and everything else, and you just leave the foot alone. I know when that rehabilitation begins on that foot, that's going to be real interesting. And the thing about me is I'm not averse to pain. I have pain all the time, so I'm not mad at pain. But I plan on when a time comes and they say it's good for me to go, I'm gonna go. And every time that I'm sitting there and I want to start fucking crying that it hurts or whatever else, I'm just gonna ask myself, "Yeah, bitch, but did you die though?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." All right, well, fuck, you got more to go. Let's go, right? And so it'll be interesting to see. I'll do some pictures and everything that I'll have as a reference for myself where we started. I'm gonna start keeping a food log. I'm gonna start. I have a journal that I have right now. I'm gonna modify a new journal, and that's gonna be basically the journal that I'm gonna keep on a daily basis to track my my food intake, my exercises, things like that, and weekly I will be doing updates and things of that nature. And if some of you guys are interested in fucking around and playing with, go ahead. We can play with it, and I'm not gonna. Don't ever worry. I'm never gonna judge you guys because it's not my fucking place. And I think we all are pretty harsh on ourselves anyway, so we don't really need anybody else to be a fucking asshole to us. But if you guys feel like it's helpful for you to do it, then there you go. You know what I'm saying? So, yep, that's right, Tenchi, Decayed Malice. So, anyway, that's all I really want to do is just kind of give you guys an update, let you guys know the schedule. I mostly walk and do resistance band and bodyweight exercise. Yeah, it's not bad. Bodyweight exercise is a really good way to go, especially when you're doing like what do you call those, isotopic type exercises, like where you're doing stuff like your arms out, you're using your own body weight. I mean, even shit like jumping jacks, push-ups. I mean, it's amazing just being able to do those simple things, right? Fuck. I can't even imagine trying to do a pull-up right now. I watch movies where people are hanging from cliffs, and I think to myself, fuck, I'm dead. You know, let alone holding somebody and saying, don't let go, I got you. Fuck that. Like, we're both fucking dying, right? That's right now. So, you know, the game plan is be healthy enough where not only I could take care of myself, but, like, if I had to, I could pull a comrade, pull a homie out of harm's way and not really worry too much about the physicality of it. So, and I think it's good too, just because I miss fighting. I miss being in shape. I miss running. I really miss running. I used to love that mental game. You know, it's like I'm mentally just defeated, but I trick my brain. Like, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? I love that shit. It is better when you have friends to do it together with. But I'm pretty isolated, and most of my friends don't live close to me. So it's just gonna have to be yeah, exactly, something like MyFitnessPal for the phone. Yeah, where you're doing something and you're kind of reminding each other, like, hey, did you work out today? It's like, no, I haven't worked out yet. It's like, hey, why don't you go work out, you know, or sending a message. I think the whole social media stuff is really good for that. And I know once I get started, I'm pretty sure my wife will be behind me, helping me, because there's some things I'm going to need help with, like stretching. I can't reach my feet. And so when it comes to time for stretching, which is something I really need to do, I'm actually going to need somebody to help me with that. And so we'll see. But anyway, you know, maybe I'll find tips and tricks for people to do things that normally would require another person, but maybe there's little tricks we could learn using furniture around us, using chairs, using whatever. I'm always about finding ways to do modified exercise because, you know, I know a lot of us have. I know for me personally, with my back and my neck and my rotator cuff, it's always a tough proposition for me. But I'm not gonna let those things stop me anymore. I'm just gonna find ways to modify exercises to do what I need to do. Because, like I said, as I was laying there and I was contemplating death, the last thing I really wanted to do was look up at a fucking mirror and go, Jesus Christ, you look fucking gross. And that really fucking bugged me. I mean, I was already scared, you know, because I didn't want to die because I have a lot of life left in me, but to have that feeling of vulnerability and fear be replaced with disgust of self, that sucked. You know what I'm saying? That sucked. You need to come to the dark side, and we could be activity buddies on iOS. Well, I have an iPad and I have an Apple laptop, so I probably can do stuff, right? Apollo says, like me, if I exercise, I get winded because of my COPD. Well, for you, there's a lot of other things you'd have to do. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Bronxy Bronx? Yeah, I'm so happy to be home. The nurses and stuff were really good. The nurses were really, really good, but I'm happy to be home in my own bed, in my own environment, and you know, it just feels so much better, you know. A good set of resistance bands only costs about $30. Yep, I know. Actually, I have a ton of equipment. I have a lot of equipment. I have free weights. I have things that attach to the door that are bands that have, like, you know, the green, the yellow, the red, the orange, and you can add resistance on those. I have some of the resistance bands that have the ankle attachments, so you're between your legs, so you can do the different types. I have a ton of stuff. Oh, it would require the iWatch. Well, you know, I have my my, what is that? My watch that tracks all of my steps and everything else. It's Samsung. I have a Samsung watch. We might be able to do the same things. We might just have to have some kind of a different thing in between where we do our comparison and whatever. Anabolic Aliens had some awesome band workouts on YouTube. I bet there's a lot of good stuff. Like, one thing I kind of want to get into is I kind of want to get into yoga. And I know there's a few of us that like Wicked. I think Wicked is really hard with the Diamond Dallas yoga stuff. But I kind of want to do just some different yoga just for balance. I think balance is going to be really important for me, especially after my operation on my feet. So I want to get into balance. I want to get into core strength stuff. Really focus on my core because core is already pretty strong. Like I gotta do like leg raises like all day fucking long. It's like really funny. That's like the only exercise I can like whoop my wife's ass at. Like, yeah, look, I can do leg raises and the bicycle and all the other stuff for days. But I kind of want to get into some other stuff. So, like I said, once everything is healed up and I get isometrics, thank you. I start going and everything. We're gonna be doing. I'm gonna have routines where you guys will be able to see me fumble through shit and looking like a fucking waddling penguin on certain things. And then you'll see, anything you work at, you're going to improve at, right? So you'll see me in the very beginning. You'll see how things are going. And I'm going to try to do stuff that, they're basic lifestyle changes, right? It's not like I'm never going to go on a diet. These are all things I'm trying to build new habits. So I'm going to try to carve out a time of the day where, if you look at all the successful people, there's always routine. So they get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They might do some workout. They do some meditating. They get their day planned. They take a shower. They start their day, right? I know one big part of what I'm going to do is going to involve my dog Yuki. I'm going to be taking her on walks. I plan on incorporating hiking. I live in fucking Utah. It's beautiful, and I haven't hiked barely anything here. When I was down in southern Utah, I forgot the name of the place, Kanab. When I was down in Kanab and I was hiking and walking through the mountains in the blazing sun, oh my God, I loved it. It was great. So I plan on doing some more of that stuff. So I got plenty of things that I can plan for and do, and I'm excited. And I just want to share with you guys because, people have like New Year's resolutions and things of that nature, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I came to a realization as I was laying there, and I just said, I don't like this. I don't like this anymore. And because of that, I'm like, fuck it. I got to change this because, what kind of an example am I leading for my children if I don't take responsibility for my own health? I don't want to be one of those hypocritical people that, tell my kids to do something and then I don't do it myself. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's it, guys. I don't want to drag this on any longer. So that's what's been going on with me. That's the game plan going forward. We'll be doing one more video this Saturday. We'll do one video on Sunday for the Robert R. Ricks one. We'll do another real-time story time there. And then there'll probably be a break of at the very least 1 week, probably 2 weeks before the shows continue. And we will see after that. We'll take it by play it by ear. Sounds like you need to change your eating habits to that of Utah Steve. I don't know. I don't know. If you're talking Steve, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Birthday for Garen. Is it his birthday on Saturday? Well, happy birthday. Let's see. Small walks at first and gradually go further, and you and Irene or your family can do it. Yeah. I got some game plans. I pretty much know what I need to do. I just haven't experienced it yet. So now that I've experienced like this, if somebody asks me in the future, hey, how is getting not a gastric bypass, a gallbladder taken out? I can tell them how it was for me. Just like somebody says, how is it to fracture your ankle? I can tell you how that is. How does it feel to get stabbed? I can tell you how that is. How does it feel to get your ass stomped and kicked? Yeah, I can tell you how that is. So, it's all about experiences, right? And I am definitely getting a lot of good experiences, especially as a writer, because I got a lot of stuff I can pull from now when I'm writing some horror stories and stuff like that. So Anyway, that's it for now, guys. I appreciate you guys and want to give you guys an update. I want you guys to know what's going on. I felt bad because I was going to pull Minicus in on my show, and we were just going to have conversations about flashlights and things like that. No, I've never been shot. I had a guy misfire on me. He pulled a gun, stuck it right to my face, pulled the trigger, and it clicked, and I shit myself. But no, I've never been actually shot. I've had people shoot at me. I had a bullet whiz past me once, and I wasn't quite aware of what was going on until like probably, I don't know, 20 seconds later, and I was like, wait, was that a fucking bullet? And I looked down the street, and sure enough, there's a guy fucking down there shooting. I'm like, oh fuck, drove away. But no, luckily, knock on wood, I haven't been shot, and I really don't plan on getting shot, because anywhere you get shot, it's going to be really just fucked up. I don't even want to think about that. But everything else, I mean, hit with bats, hit with guitars. I've never been hit with a bottle that broke. I got hit with a bottle that didn't break. That sucked on the back of my head. I've been hit with a chair, hit with a pool stick, bat, never, not a shovel. I almost got hit with a shovel once, but I didn't get hit with a shovel. Kicked, punched multiple times, lots of cracked ribs. Yeah. So anyway, not shot though. My brother got shot, and according to him, that sucked really fucking bad. Nothing like getting shot with a fucking 357 Magnum. Yeah, that's what he said. It burns. It felt like his ass was lit up from the inside out, and when they were packing his wounds. I never really got hit with a dog. I've been bit by a dog. I've had dogs attack me, but I've never had somebody actually swing a dog and smack me. I've had a dog plow into me, but I've never had somebody actually pick one up. Ooh. See, the whole thing with a bottle breaking over your head, like, I'm always worried about, like, glass going in you, you know? Like, I've had a glass light bulb pop in my hand, and, like, a shard of it slid in the meat part of my hand, and I had to fucking pull that out. That sucked. That was hot. That hurt. That's why the scar is so protruded, just because it burned as it stuck, kind of cauterized as it went in. That was interesting. That wasn't very fun. But yeah, I never actually had a bottle break over my head. I had one hit, and it thunked fucking hard, like boom. I was like, oh fuck, and it didn't break. It hurt though. Got lucky, only 40 stitches. Yeah, you got lucky. And like, you know, hit in the face, guitar, busted my eyebrow. That was a accidental thing. See, luckily I've never taken like a fucking bat to the face, but I've taken enough punches to the head that the retina, there's a membrane in the back of my eye that's already torn loose. That only happens like when you're really fucking old, and I've already had my eye doctor tell me, yeah, at some point you're gonna go blind in your left eye. It's gonna grab the retina. When you see a lightning storm and the lights go out, go to the ER real quick so they can reattach your retina. I'm like, oh, that's all. Okay, cool. You know, but they shine light on God in my eyes, and they're like, dude, how did you had any blood force trauma? I'm like, yeah. But anyway, all right, guys, that's it. I'll see you guys on Saturday. I just want to give you guys this long update on health and everything else. All right, guys. Later. What's up, Yuk Yuk? Yuk Yuk? What's up? You gonna work out with me? You work out together? Yes. Yes, we go big walks, huh?